Hey, what's up? It's Semmue. This is for those who hunger for more, so much more, so much more. Get all the refugees in sync, inspired. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Semmue, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of my podcast. And on today's episode, I tell you, today's guest has used a marketing strategy that's based on his influence to create viral moments on TikTok, right? Viral moments on social media that has helped to build his brand and not only propel him as an artist, but also propel him as a marketer. This is an episode you do not want to miss. In fact, I'm going to start the show by just letting today's guest just tell his story because it's an amazing one. And we're going to let him just get it all out because it's what you want to hear, especially if you're a music creator, a recording artist, if you've ever been curious about how you can go viral or how you can get your music on social media and allow it to build your career. So I want you to welcome with me, Mr. Semmue Jenkins. Semmue, how are you, brother?
Man, I'm better than I deserve, brother. I appreciate you having me on.
Of course, man. And I couldn't wait, from the moment that we had a chance to meet down in, I believe it was Dallas, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken. We had a chance to meet at Dallas. Of course, you and I are very active marketers, and we both do our share of marketing for music creatives. It just was a natural fit, man. And I'm really excited about the things you're doing, and I can't wait to unpack a lot of it. So for starters, bro, can you just talk about a little bit about yourself and what you do?
So I'm 25. My name's Semmue Jenkins. I go by Semmue or semi-automatic if I'm making music. I do a lot of things. I'm a musician, producer. I'm an engineer. I am a software developer. I am a marketer, man of God. That pretty much sums up. I play basketball. I like to shoot. I collect guns. I think I got about
Mhm.
14 guns. Mainly, what I am is I'm a student, and I'm constantly learning, constantly trying to increase my education, constantly trying to push the narrative, and trying to learn from people who are also pushing the narrative. So.
That's amazing. And I would definitely call that a Renaissance man of this age, right? Just really a Renaissance man doing a lot of amazing things. This is what I want to do, man. I want to give you the floor to tell your story because I find it fascinating to talk about how you went from an artist and a music creator to somebody who had more than one viral moment and used a marketing strategy that a lot of people aren't even thinking about. So without further ado, let us know your journey. Let us know how it all began.
So I was born in Tacoma, Washington, but my mom moved us back down to where she's from, which is Pensacola, Florida. So this is all I know. It's my home. I'm here now, actually. Um, and yeah, I started making music. I want to say I was maybe 9 or 10 years old. My brothers, they had a group. It was my brother and his friends that basically raised me too. They're all my brothers, and they made music and stuff when they were in high school. My brother's 6.5 years older than me, so I was always trying to tag along and make music with him. And my mom at first was like, "No, don't let him. No, don't let him." And then I would just sneak when she would go to sleep and go to the studio with him. And he let me record my first song. And I remember the song was called "Cowabunga," and
Mhm.
I remember recording that and I just fell in love with it, man. And then, Call of Duty was a popular game, and I recorded. It was like my third time going to the studio. I was like, "Hey, I want to do a song with just you." Like I told my brother, and we made a song called Call of Duty. And now, mind you, I'm in like the sixth grade at this time, and this song got over 300,000 plays in the sixth grade. So,
Wow.
yeah, it was like baby viral then.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that's when my shout out C Notes Clarence he gave me the name. He was like, "Man, semi-automatic." And he gave me that. And that's the first time somebody ever called me that. And I got bullied and stuff growing up. So to have a cool name, like that was everything to me. And I remember Like this was back in MySpace days, so I made a profile picture, and I never forget I had my middle fingers up in the picture, and they had these old graphics where you could like make it like a pencil
Mhm.
type of graphic, and I made it a pencil and I put semi-automatic on it. And ever since then, man, that was my moniker. That's what I went by. And then fast forward, kept making music. I was about 15 and I was entering high school, and I told my mom, I was like, "Hey, I really want to like pursue this." And she was like, "Well, are you good?" I was like, "I mean, I've been dibbling dabble here and there. I mean, I think I am." And she was like, "Well, I got one person that I want to introduce you to, but you got to be serious. This dude don't play the radio. You got to be serious. I known him from high school. He has a studio." So she introduced me to a gentleman named Rodney Goldsmith. So when I met Rodney, first thing he told me, he said, "Hey, listen, if you trying to just make music to ride around the car with your friends, you can take that to the house. I'm
Mm.
trying to," he said, "I'm trying to, this is a music business. So if you trying to really do that, then we can lock in. If you trying to do anything else, then I don't even want to deal with you." He was like,
Mm.
and he said, I got a badass white boy, man, coldest in the game. Man, he engineer, man, he mix, he do all this stuff, man. And if you want to meet him, you got to be ready. So that ended up being Derek. Derek's my partner to this day for everything. So we get in the studio, and this how much I knew about music, right? They were like, "Hey, you have to have the beat key, and you got to have your beat, and we got to go over the song."
Mhm.
So I bought my first beat. It was a beat from Cinema Beats. Shout out Cinema Beats.
Mhm.
Um, and it was a beat with a hook on it. And I remember wrote the song super quick. The song was called "Stay the Course," by the way. It was the first song I ever recorded in the studio. When I went to the studio, I was like, "Man, they didn't send me a key to the beat, so I don't know if I gotta unlock it somehow." And he
Mhm.
looked at me, he was like, what are you talking about?" I was like, "Well, you said I needed a key. I don't know, like, are they supposed to mail me something?" Like, I literally thought that there was a key that came to the beat that the producer had to unlock to do. That's literally how much I knew about music going in there. So I was completely green. Then, like I said, the journey started there. Only thing I knew how to do was rap. Fast forward, man, we made that song, and then we started actually working together. They took me under their wing and they signed me under, a management deal under graphic entertainment music. So when we started working together, um, I recorded this song called "Impressive." I think it was the fourth song I recorded. And we ended up doing it like really old school, because they're old school guys. So we recorded a whole album over the course of like my freshman year. And then I had an album listening party. I never forget, I invited my friends from school and stuff like that. And we had some food and some punch, you know what I'm saying? Nobody could drink. And I had everybody vote on what song I should release first.
Mhm.
So everybody voted "Impressive." They was like, "Man, this the song, this the song." So I released it about a week later on my birthday. First day, the song had like 40,000 plays on YouTube, and it was
Wow.
like like we're in high school, so it's spread across all the schools. Everybody was like, "Man, this song's hard. This song's hard." And that's when it just started, man. I started releasing more music. I posted another video. First day had like 12,000 views, and then I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna do this, continue to do this." And then yeah, man. Rodney had passed away maybe about 2 years after that of us releasing music and doing stuff.
Rest in peace. Yes.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, he had a heart attack, and him and
Uh,
Derek owned a HVAC company together. So when he passed away, it kind of put everything on Derek, because Derek had to continue to run the business. And we were making music, we were getting some traction, but we weren't making money or anything like that. We were still trying to get after it, and it was like really just heartbreaking, because Derek was my like he was my producer, he was my engineer, he was everything. And when Rodney passed, it was like, damn, I had to kind of step up. So what happened was I end up getting a job, because that year before, when we were working on music, I had moved out of my mom's house, moved into Derek's house, and Derek was like, "Hey," him and Rodney agreed. They were like, "You can stay here for a year. Don't worry about working. We just want you to learn music, like read books, learn piano, learn guitar, learn the instruments, learn the keys, just learn music, study music." And I roomed out of Derek's house for like a year time. I moved out with my girlfriend at the time. We were dating since like high school, whatever. And I would like get like a little job at like McDonald's or something. Because he was like, just give me $300 a month for rent. Just give me something. And but when he died, it was just like I said, I was kind of stuck, and we didn't do music for maybe like a month, and then it was kind of getting tough because I was used to us always working on stuff. So I told Derek, I was like, I want to learn how to engineer and make my own beats, take some pressure off of you. So I ended up getting a job at GE, and what I would do was I would work that job from 5 in the morning to about 4 in the afternoon, and then from 4 in the afternoon to about 5, I'd go eat, whatever, shower, and then at 5 o'clock, I started doing some online like training courses with like Logic and stuff like that. And I would
Mhm.
work those until like 10 o'clock at night. And then I would practice making beats after that until like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I did that religiously. I ate peanut butter sandwiches. I saved up enough to where I could buy my own computer because I was borrowing a friend's for Logic, buy, the little microphones and stuff, and I started building. And the first beat I made and song that I did myself was called Heartbroken, and it was a tribute to Rodney. And after that, man, I kind of got obsessed, and it just it turned music into something else when I learned how to be kind of proactive. And then fast forward a little bit, maybe about a year and a half, we started getting some more success online, and then it stalled. And then COVID was happening at that time now. So my girlfriend at the time was like, "You should make music for TikTok." And me, I'm like, "Man, nah, that's not my thing." And I followed Gary Vaynerchuk online, and he was like, "You should be on TikTok if you're an artist." And then at a certain point, I was like, "Man, you know what? What the hell?" So I downloaded the app, and I seen that K Camp, his song Renegade, was going popular on there, and I was like, "Man, I could think I could do something like this."
Mhm.
So I was trying to get a job at Navy Federal during that time because everybody was like, "Hey, this is the holy grail of jobs." My mom was working there for like 10 years, so she was like, "You need to get a job." And in my mind, I was like, "Okay." I was working at Walmart during the pandemic. I was like, "Whatever, $15 an hour in Navy Federal, I'd be lit. I could get my own apartment." I was like, I that's enough." So,
Right.
I uh I end up working with a recruiter, and for like 2.5 months of me trying to get to Navy Federal, I ended up taking the last typing test and I failed. I have albinism. My vision's not that good, so I can't see that well. So I failed the typing test, and I was just devastated because I was like, he was telling me I was going to get the job. I was telling my girl I was going to get the job. I think at this time I'm 20, so I'm like, man, I got to do something. But I didn't have a good resume. I didn't go to college. Now, I didn't struggle in school at all. I had gifted honors classes. I had all that whole thing, but I just, I had girls in high school. I made music. I was the cool dude, so I was like, I didn't care too much. But I say this because this is all gonna make sense here because this is where the clincher happened. Whenever it was time for me to really commit to making a TikTok song, I thought to myself, all right, influencing is now becoming a job. It's becoming a way for people to make money. What if
Mhm.
I could create a TikTok resume to where, because this is back when you only had 15 seconds, I thought to where when people go to somebody's page, it can be pinned and they can learn everything about that person before they follow them in 15 seconds. It'd be the TikTok resume, and they could use it to collaborate and partner with brands. So that was my idea, and I was like, I think this will work. So I had to think of some questions of like, how, like, what could people wanna like, what do people wanna know? Like, what could be something and something that will rhyme? So the questions that I ended up coming up with was, "What's your name? What's your age? Where you from? What's your sign? Who do you love? What's your style? What do you do? And what do you drive?" Because I was like,
Mm.
all of those things there, they could bring people in, they could bring their car brands in, they could bring the type of business that they do in. I was like, all of these things could maximize my reach because, and then like, who do they love, or like, if they have a dog or whatever. I was like, this could be perfect, for virality, the way I thought it was at least. And then so I found a beat on YouTube, and I contacted the producer, shout out Kevin Hughes, and we ended up working together and we made the TikTok beat together. And then it was time for me to record it. So Like I said, that was like the Renegade song, so I knew the beat had to have like no drums. No instruments. It was just all drums. People were just doing like simple, basic TikTok stuff.
Right.
I show it to my girl, and she's like, "Oh, I like this. I like this." So she shows it to her stepsisters, which were like 11, I think 13, and 8. And they
Hmm.
say, "Oh, this is cool," but they say, "Where's the dance?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" They were like, "You need a dance for TikTok." And they were like, "It's too fast." I was like, "What do you mean?" They were like, "Well, um, you have to have time to put the words on the screen." I've never seen anybody create content. I've still to like at that point on TikTok, I still to this day don't have a video of me doing a dance. It's just not my thing.
Right.
So they were like, it's too fast because at first, I'm a rapper, so I'm thinking, what's your name? What's your age? Where you from? What's your sign? They were like, we have no time to put on a video. So I was like, all right. So I go back, I halftime it, and at this time I'm pissed because I'm like, this song is corny. This song sucks. It's lame. Whatever. These young white girls don't know nothing about hip hop culture. They don't know nothing. So
Right.
I make the song and I say, "What's your name? What's your age? Where you from? What's your sign?" And I was like, this is like, oh. I show it to them. They go insane. They're like, "Oh my god, this is the coolest thing in the world," whatever. But it was like, still no dance. I was like, I was like, I'm not doing a dance. They were like, you need a dance. So I sat on the song for like 2 weeks thinking of a dance, thinking of a way to get somebody's attention. Then it hit me. I was like, stop. And I was like, okay, wait, stop, drop, and roll. And it hit me right then and there. And then I was like, I needed something like an action. So I just came with something. I was like, do that. I was like, whatever. It just hit my head. I was like, and then I didn't know what to think. So I just said something simple because I had to think about the mindset of somebody listening to it and the girls. And like I said, they're like 8, 11, and like 13. So I was like, do it like a pro. Do that. I just repeated it. So when I put that together, I had to do it in a certain voice too, because at first I had like the tough rap voice, and then I had to think, okay, these are young people on this app. So I did stop, drop, and roll. Like did something just like lame. Like it's not lame, but you know what I'm saying? It's something that's like I know that the kids would eat it up. So
Right.
and then I knew I only had 15 seconds to get their attention. So if I could stop the camera, then they drop and roll. I was like, it's raunchy enough to where women with nice bodies would want to show off their bodies, but
Hmm.
it's, clean enough to where if you walked in and you saw your 10-year-old daughter stop, dropping, and roll, and you think it's a nursery rhyme and a little dance, you wouldn't think too much of it. So I was like,
Right.
okay, we got the perfect balance. So when I showed it to them, they went insane, and it was like they already knew what to do. So as soon as it was time to do it, they're like they were doing something. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but they were doing something. So, my Derek's wife, Vanessa, she was like, Derek was like, "We need you to make a dance. We need you to make a dance." So she came up with it was like the stop, drop, and she came up with that. So when we sent that back to them, they loved it. They did it. It was something easy everybody could do. And then it was like, okay, we got something. We got something. And I was really excited about it. And it's like that gut feeling where you just know that something's gonna happen. You don't know how,
Hmm.
but you just know like, man, this is something from the reaction. So, um, and of course I had to make a verse. So I made like a little eight bar verse, whatever, and just do, stuff in there. But after that I was like the song needs to be short. So I made the song I think like a minute and like 20 seconds, something like that. Um when it was time to market the song, we didn't have no money still. So
Mm.
Derek was like, Derek's my bank at this point. He's like always been like my bank. So Derek's like,
Right.
hey, I think he said I got $400. So in my mind,
Right.
I'm working at Walmart still. I'm like, that's more than I'm making 2 weeks. Man, whatever, man, we lit. That's enough money, man. We can make this thing happen. So my roommate at the time that was staying with us, it was my friend from high school. He was wanting to start a marketing career. So he was like, "Hey man, I can make this song blow up." And then Rail and Derek's always trying to help everybody. So Derek's like, "Let's just give the money to Rail. Shout out Rail, Saint Rail, and Rail. That way it can help him. He can get the marketing thing going. He could contact the people. He can do the influencer marketing, and it just all stays within the house, and we don't have to pay somebody else." So I'm like, "All right,
Right.
cool, perfect." So Rail takes the 400, and I think Rail got 45 people to make a video out of $400. When in a big scheme of things, that's good. Like
Yes, it
45
is.
people with four, like that's really good in like organic content.
That's right.
But then there's me, and I'm stubborn, man. I'm a stubborn dude, bruh. So I'm like, I think we can do more. Not saying Rail did anything wrong, but I'm like, man, I think we can do more. So Derek's like, we can't do more within the next month. I don't have, we gotta get some more money. So then
Hmm.
Derek comes back and he's like, I got $600 this time. That's all I got. I don't know what you can do, but that's all I got. So I'm like, all right. I took 400 of it and I paid this influencer that I had got in contact with from Rail. She had 4 million followers on TikTok. Her name was like Fairhope Herps or something, but she had like content with like a what did you call those things? A dragon, a bearded dragon. She did like crazy content like that. But
Right.
she made the challenge, $400. She had 4 million followers, so that was like damn near all the budget. But that one strategic move had got us to where we had over like I think our first 3,000 videos. And then when we had the
Wow.
3,000 videos, we had $200 left. And I started thinking, okay, I got $200 left. That just took a big chunk out of it. I need to think of a smart way. So that's when I started doing the Whataburger method and the laddering method is what I call it to this day. So you have a Whataburger where you at?
We don't. No, we don't.
Okay. So picture Whataburger being like a upgraded like a upgraded Burger King or something. It's like yeah. So what I would do is I started messaging people and I started like doing what my mom, because moms always tell me honesty is the best policy. So I'd message you and I'd be like, hey, Samori, one, man, I love your content. I've been following you for a minute. Because I try to follow the person in advance. And then I'd say, hey, um, I'm a small artist. I'm trying to grow this song. Now, I think that this song would be beneficial for your audience because you don't have anything on your site like that that people can find out about you immediately. We're trying to get it to grow. I don't have the biggest budget. I don't want to disrespect you with this offer, but it's all I have. If you don't take it, I understand. If you could point me in the right direction to somebody who maybe would, but the most that I could offer is I could pay for your lunch. I could get you some Whataburger or something. It's all I got.
Mm.
And what I found by doing that is people would either just do it for free, they
Right.
would take the money, or they would give me other people like, hey man, like, this can't work for me, but try these people out. They're my friends. They're trying to get their content out there. Hit them up. Tell them I sent you. So within doing that, the first month we had over 50,000 videos made. And
Wow.
then I was like, okay, now I started laddering. So I would find the videos, and this is important here. My laddering technique. I would find a creator in a space, and let's say Samori had 150,000 followers in the space of football
Hmm.
and talking about football, but you just did my challenge. I would go through your followers and I would find different creators that are doing something similar to you that have less followers than you, and I would just go down the ladder. So I know if Joshua had 100,000 followers, I would leverage the ladder from you to Joshua, saying, "Hey, Joshua, Samori, man, he just did this challenge. This challenge seems to be working for him. Look at how many numbers you got. You should hop on this challenge too, because more creators like you need to do it."
Hmm.
And I started just doing that, and then we get people with 300,000 followers. So I know I could get somebody with 250. We get 500,000. I know I could get somebody with 400,000. Once we got a million, I know that we can get some people with 800,000. And within 6 months, we end up having the number one sound in the world on the biggest platform in the world. We had hit a growth rate. I think we hit our first. We hit our first like I think 500,000 videos made, and then something happened in that where this girl took off her hoodie and like threw it to the ground and stopped, drop, roll, something like that. When that happened, we started getting 100,000 videos per day that were created. It
That's
was
amazing.
by December. We released the song in June. So
Hmm.
within 6 months, it was like everywhere. And when people started picking up, I started getting people that were like wait, is that's Semmue? That's Semmue song? And it
Mm.
was like going and going and going. And we just kept capitalizing off of that, man. And then that's when labels started calling and other people started calling. People started calling to try to, license the song and stuff like that. And by this time, I'm working at the beach. I'm a server now because somebody put me on a serving game. So I'm not
There you
making
go.
$300 every 2 weeks now. I think I'm making like $1,000 a week now. So I'm getting more money than what I
You're
was.
moving up like the
Yeah,
Jeffersons, brother. Yes, sir.
yeah. And Derek gives me a call while I'm on break. Well, I get like 4 missed calls from him. Derek's not gonna call me before. He's like, call me. So I get a call. I step out on break. I'm like, yo, what's up? And Derek goes, hey man, we got money. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, so prior to this, like a week ahead of time, we kept getting these emails from TikTok saying we're trying to pay you, you have money in your account, we're trying to pay you. And we're like, whatever. This is BS. Y'all ain't trying to pay us. We're thinking
Yeah.
like, whatever, whatever. We knew that we were owed something, but we were like, whatever. So he's like, no, we got money in the account, man. So I'm like, what is it? So he sends me a screenshot. Now it's nothing crazy, but that's when we started like learning about like the BNI and all that stuff, and we had $19,000 that had hit the account from like the people started to make the videos, and then it was like your next estimated payout. It was like 17,000 will be in like I think it was like another like 2 weeks or something. And then we were just
Wow.
like, what? Because we were like,
Yeah.
man, we like in my mind, I'm thinking I never even seen 5 digits in something. Because like we grew up, man. I grew up. We were really poor. Single mother. We didn't even have floors in the house, man. It was like Home Depot. You know what I'm saying? It was like extremely poor. So
Right.
to have something like that, we're ecstatic. And the first thing I'm thinking is, oh man, like I think I gave my mom like $1,000 or $2,000, something like that, and like I was just like, yeah, and just I think I went and bought some clothes and just
Right.
I took a girl. I was telling girls like wherever you want to go, we can go. I'm down. And yeah, man. So we kept building off of that, and then it started opening up more opportunities to where I'll talk about it in a few because I know we're going to a break. I know you got questions, but to this day, um, recorded but it stopped recording months and months ago because something glitched out. But I know we have about 8 billion views
Wow.
online through Meta now. It's been over I think 9 million creators that have created the challenge now, and man, it's still going. We still get people that license it out. Like every month, somebody comes and pays $4,000 to $8,000 every single month to license out the song to use it for something still. So, and this is 3.5 years down the line. So it still makes money. And it's crazy because and we never put any more money behind it. Like that $400 and that $600, we've never put anything other than that in the song, than that, in that song. And we've been able to just continue to market, continue to grow. But these strategies, man, I tell you, I've done these in damn near every single industry, from roofing to real estate marketing to spas to personal trainers to, I mean, you name it, training companies, insurance companies, and it works. It works across the board, tenfold. It's leveraging a ladder. It's a process, and like I said, it's a Whataburger method, and it's allowed me to create more money, helping other businesses make money. And I always do it by cutting their marketing budget by at least 50%. So when I go to a company, I say, hey, if you're spending $100,000 a year, whether you're spending $10,000 a year, whatever, I can cut that in half for sure. I have a proven track record of doing it with statistics, with the numbers to prove I can cut it in half, and I can help them grow because it's like it works. It works over and over and over again. So
All right, brother. That was fascinating, man. Just hearing that journey, the fact that like so many of us, myself included, you started out as a recording artist, a person who is passionate about making music, who is an artist. But you're also a young artist, so you've grown up in this social media era, and you really have approached this from a very present perspective, from a very, we are in the moment, and you've been utilizing the technology and the tools that we have in the moment. and you capitalized on influencer marketing. And at my studio in Philly, of course, we teach music business, we teach audio engineering, we teach music production, and we do a lot of marketing consulting for artists, right? And a lot of people want to know, how can I become more popular? How can I build my brand? I'm in the studio working all the time. How can I blow this song up? And so expand a little bit for me on your Whataburger method. Just, if you can, break down kind of how you've approached your ladder. Because again, to me, man, it's just fascinating.
Yeah, so basically, like, if I was an art, let's say if everybody has a restaurant in their town, or because you can start locally. Everybody has a restaurant in their town where everybody loves. I would
Hmm.
find something that's within your price range, something that you know that you can do at least once or twice a week, and I would narrow down that place. Second, I would find people um, that have influence in your community, and it doesn't have to be very famous people. So honestly, everybody wants to go for the top dogs, but what they don't realize is a high school principal, you'd be surprised, has a lot more influence than somebody who you think is just a local celebrity,
Hmm.
because they have real influence over real people that they're making connections with and talking to every day. Your local butcher, they have real influence. People go there and get their meat there. They trust them. Local farmer, local person who's at, one of your local markets who sell eggs and things like that. And these people are, I hate to put a price on them, but they're not expensive at all, because they don't have the influence that is like a social credit for social media. They have like genuine influence, right? So I
Hmm.
would locate these people, because if they say something, they make an announcement, people are gonna follow. And then don't be afraid to contact your local high school volleyball team, your high school quarterbacks. High school quarterbacks have more influence than probably majority of people in your town, because
Wow.
they're the closest thing to cool, and people don't realize that, and nobody emphasizes them. And they
Hmm.
have it, because it's like the same thing I said earlier when I was talking about me being in school, right? Like, and there was a point in time where I had enough reach as somebody who would be like a local politician at 16 years old, because I would post something online and it would be 400 people commenting on it at
Hmm.
any given time, right? That doesn't
Right.
happen, but it happens a lot of times in these high, like, just go to your biggest high school in your area, find the quarterback, find the cheerleader, find the prom king, find the prom queen, and just look at how many people are really interacting with them, and they
Hmm.
have no choice but to be reminded of them every week. If you contact those people saying, "Hey, I got a song, you like it?" Or, "Hey, how can I make something for your high school?" Or, "How can I make something for your team?" Or, "What's your team anthem?" You have to do some sacrificing. Like that song, I knew that song wouldn't make me a good rap, wouldn't classify me as a good rapper. I knew that people wouldn't look at those lyrics and say, "Man, this guy's a good artist." But I stand on this. I think a good artist is somebody who knows how to be a bad one. It
Mm.
take like, cause you have to be good enough to know where good is, and then
Hmm.
understand, okay, I'm not gonna out rap J. Cole right now. I'm not gonna out rap Nas right now. I'm not gonna try to out rap Biggie and Tupac right now. What you need is exposure, because Grant Cardone said it best. Best known beats best all day. You can be the best rapper in your city. You can be the best singer in your city. You can have the best studio, the best equipment, the best guitar, best microphone, best everything. But if you're not the best known, you're never going to be the best. That's what people
Best
always
known, best known beats the best always. I love that.
always. Yep. So, like I said, I contact these people and I'd say, "Hey, um after the game, I got pizza for you guys. If you guys just like make a video with me with my song, or you guys share my song." Like, these are things that you can do that's very inexpensive, man. And what you'll realize is you'll start getting that local credibility because 9 times out of 10, if you're in a town, there's not much going on there anyway, unless you live in like these huge places like Atlanta and stuff like that. But even places like that, people still aren't trying to do that. They still aren't trying to reach
Hmm.
into the Atlanta high schools and things like that. Um, and then when the laddering comes out of this, you pick 3 people out of every moment that you get. I don't care if you get 15 likes, you find the top 3 people out of those 15 likes, and then you find people that do things similar to them. And then you leverage that ladder. You bring that ladder to the other side of the building, you climb it up, and you look over and you see who's there. And then you say, "Hey, we just did this with this person. Look how this came out. I think that this would be great if we did it with you as well." Or if they're in a similar industry, but not doing the exact same thing, you could say, "Hey, do you," and just ask them, "Do you think that this could work out? I mean, we got this amount of views here. Could that benefit you in any way? Is this something you'd be interested in? If not, do you know anybody who would be?" Like, these are questions that artists don't ask. At the end of the day, man, everything is sales. Everything is sales, and like I said, the price of entry is not that expensive. So I just worked with a hotel in my area that asked me to come and consult for them. This was just yesterday. So they have a Crackle Barrel that's next to the hotel.
Right.
And they were like, "Hey, we're slow around this time of the season, from Tuesdays to Thursdays, and then we pick up, Friday through Monday." And they were like, "We're spending, I think they were spending $9,500 a month in ads." And they're like, "We don't know what to do. We can't get people in." So this is a version of laddering that I'm talking about that works in every industry. I'm just putting this as an example. I said, "Hey, let's go to Crackle Barrel. Let's meet with the GM and let's figure out their pain points. Let's figure out their slowest days. Let's figure out their slowest meals. The things that don't sell as fast, the things that they're actually losing money on because, it's cold and hot inventory. It has to be made or they're just gonna throw it out." So it turns out that their slowest days were Tuesday and Wednesday. So
Hmm.
we said, "Okay, what's your break even cost?" They were like, "Well, for these meals, we need to make at least $17." So I said, "All right, how much are these rooms?" They were like, "Well, the rooms are $200 a night." I said, "Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make the rooms 219, slightly bump, but we're gonna say if you book the rooms on these days, it comes with complimentary breakfast and dinner from Cracker Barrel." Because now you're providing a convenience. Instead of them getting there, now they have to worry about a rental car, they have to worry about Ubering, all this stuff to go get food. They can just walk right behind the hotel, like it's not even a highway they gotta cross. They just walk over like behind the parking lot. It's 2-minute walk, and now they have free breakfast and free dinner. Now you pay Crackle Barrel the $20 extra for the room. So you're right back at your margins where you need to be. You make them have a break even. They'll make extra money off of appetizers, drinks, things like that. So that way they have money. They have more exposure. You have more exposure. And you have a symbiotic offer without losing any money. We didn't have to spend $9,500 to do that. But
That's
now you
right.
have something that brings more value to your business. And you're leveraging that ladder off of another company and their success already. So that's just
That's
one example.
ingenious. Yeah,
That's one
that's
example I
ingenious.
said.
And so like you're saying, if the hotel gets $220 for the room, they go ahead and just give Cracker Barrel that 20. So both of them, it's a win-win for both of them. And like you say, Cracker Barrel is going to get some appetizers they're going to sell, maybe some extra sodas and whatnot. And then of course, Cracker Barrel has a little novelty shop. So they're going to make money. So that's amazing, man. So, but if we take the ladder, I just want to understand something. We take the ladder back to a music creator who is going out to their let's say high school quarterback, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to get pizza for the team if you share this." And then the quarterback says, "Okay, that's cool." And then you end up looking on that quarterback's, I guess, follower list, and you find some other low hanging fruit. Is the offer, listen, look at all the engagement that this quarterback got. Look at all the views. Is this something that you would like? Is that the offer? Is that what you're giving people in that ladder, or are you giving them something else of value?
So it's more of and it's not even like I said, it's not even the lower hanging fruit. It's different fruit.
Yeah.
So you would go and say, "Okay, we just did this with this quarterback. This is cool. Now let's try the next county over, their quarterback." Or you can try the cheerleader, or you can try the volleyball player. and then you start spreading across there. Then, like I said, you go to a different school, and then now you say, hey, you can take a step above, talk to a principal of an elementary school. Can I come and perform this song for the kids? Bring pizza, maybe give back for the kids who got, an honor roll or something. Especially if you're an artist who can sing and play guitar, just do
Right.
covers. Hey, can
Yeah.
I go play some covers that, the parents approve of? Let them know that I'm gonna sing some covers, and let me go do an event at this local elementary school. That right there is worth at least 50, 60 shares on your Facebook, your Instagram, your likes, because you're doing something and you're getting involved. And then you never know. Parents may say, hey, we're doing a wedding. Can you do this? Hey, we're doing this. And now you're making more money to help fund your career.
Right, right. But is the hook for some of, say I got one quarterback and then I go to the cheerleader, is the hook, hey, look at the engagement this quarterback got. Do you think
Yes.
this is something that worked for you? Got you. No, that's amazing. Now, I've heard you mention a few guys that I consider mentors, not because I know them personally, but because their philosophies are so impactful. So, a story about me, I've been a music creator for over 27 years and opened my studio in Philly uh, more than 2 decades ago. And for years, for me, it was about making music and about training folks and really trying to, make money off of doing what I loved, right? And over time, I realized that no matter how hard I was working, the bottom line wasn't necessarily being impacted. And so about 6 years ago, I took a deep dive into marketing. I mean, a really deep dive into specifically digital marketing and paid for courses and everything from, copywriting, which is using the written word to sell, right? Courses in influencer marketing, mastermind programs, right? Which some of them cost a small fortune, but to me, it was that important because I understand that marketing is the game changer. It is the difference maker. It is that thing that many music creatives don't understand and don't employ to the fullest. Now, in fact, you and I met at an event that had a lot to do with marketing. There were a ton of marketing agencies there. And of course, we both have a software tool. We both have individual software tools. Mine is known as Fire.ai. And what is your tool called again?
Durple.
Durple, right? And these tools are designed to help our clients uh, generate more leads, make more money using automation and AI, in my case. And so those people that I'm referring to that I consider mentors are people like Gary Vaynerchuk, which you mentioned, Grant Cardone, who you mentioned. And I think that oftentimes as music creatives, we look at other musicians or other artists and we follow what they're doing, which is dope, trying to figure out what they're doing, what's going on, where the trends are heading. I would say that right now in 2023, going into 2024, it's equally as important to follow marketers, to follow digital marketers, to know what, again, Gary Vaynerchuk is doing and saying, what Grant Cardone is doing or saying, what Alex Hormozy is doing or saying, because these individuals have given me a lot of insight and a lot of food for thought, and a lot of just practical guidance. Even Rudy Moore, I was in Rudy Moore's mastermind for a year, right? And learned so much and was able to apply that immediately. And in many cases, 5x my bottom line. And I've helped numerous music creators do the same. What are your thoughts as an artist, right? As an artist and as an entrepreneur on the importance of marketing? I mean, it seems like an obvious question, but how would you put that into words yourself?
It's everything. Um, and I want to touch on something. Artists who think that, so one, if you want to benefit from the game, you got to play it. Too many people, they don't want to play the game, but they want the benefits of the game. They want to have the jersey, but they don't want to get in. You
Right.
know, they want to be on the team, but they just want to show up to practice. They don't want to actually be there when it's time for you to really get hit. And I say that and tying it into this, like you got to be realistic. And like I said, if you're gonna lie or make a perception, or like deceive people, do it the right way. and be honest about it when people bring it up to you. Oh man, that was a nice car. That's your car. Nah, man, I got it for the video. It's all props, man. It's a show business. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Like,
Right. Because
and
everybody's doing it.
yeah, and people
A
know
lot of people are doing it. Yes.
and it costs money to do it. If you got a Bentley in your video, somebody paid $1,000 for it to be there.
Yes, sir.
It's more money than the other person who just don't have it.
That's right.
So that's what I'm
That's
saying.
right.
Like, so marketing is everything, man. Like,
Yeah, no, and bro, you are absolutely right. And perception is reality, and balancing that between your authentic self and then you as that character. I like what you said there. Um, and we're going to put a button on this shortly, but I really like you said something earlier, which is so important. There's a couple of just super important marketing concepts that creatives out there and entrepreneurs out there have to be aware of. Right. Number one is pain points. You mentioned that earlier. What are the pain points of your audience, of your market? What are your pain points? What are those things that are keeping them from getting to where they want to go? Right? What are those things that keep them up at night that they wish they could overcome so they could get to their dream state? Right? That is so important to sit down and write out the pain points of the market so that now you're speaking to those pain points, because you can be an artist who feels like you're the greatest rapper in the world, the greatest singer in the world. You're the best thing since sliced bread, on and on and on. But nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. But if you are developing content around, things that are solving people's problems, speaking to, their fears, their hopes, their dreams, adding value in that way, now they care. You're speaking to their pain points. And then another thing you mentioned, really, you implied it when you talked about influencer marketing, was the offer. What is your offer? It's like you said, hey, we'll bring pizza to the school, or hey, Mr. Principal, we'll come in and do a concert. That's the offer. That's something of value that you're hoping in exchange you'll get, your videos shared, you'll get that engagement. So those concepts are concepts that, creatives have to understand, have to employ. Artists have to understand and have to employ. And it's like you said, we can't keep lying to ourselves thinking we're going to get from A to Z when we're just doing the same old thing over and over and over again. If you want to really get to that next level, it involves marketing. You have to market. And whether you are going to Semmue and you're a potential client who would benefit from what he's doing, or whether you're coming to me and you're a creativepreneur, music creator, and you would benefit from my ability to help you get to the next level, you're either going to have to learn marketing or you're going to have to work with those who understand marketing. So it's been a pleasure to have you here, Semmue. It really has, man. You very enlightening. I love the fact that you had a very specific plan, and your story and just where you are today just really speaks to how you have approached this music. You talked about being simple. You can rap and you're creative, but you're like, I gotta create something that's simple, that's easy to understand. That this market I'm going for will get it right away, and it's not going to complicate them. You spoke to their pain points. And I think that's an amazing thing, man. Before we wrap up today, I want to give you a chance to kind of make your last statement if there's anything you want to say, but then please let people know how they can find you, your social medias. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
well, first, before anything, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be on this platform. I want to say I appreciate you, man. Like I said, I appreciate your wisdom. So that's first and foremost, man. And I want to give a shout out to you. So I want to clap it up for you, man,
Thank you,
because
sir.
you're
Thank you,
killing
sir.
it, man. And I want to give you your flowers, brother, and water them too, because you deserve it. Um, Second, man, if you guys want to find me on social media, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm pretty active on both. Um, at Semmue Jenkins. It's SEMUELJENKINS. Like I said, if you guys want to get in contact with me, contacting me through Facebook is a bit easier. My Instagram, I have a significant amount more followers on there. I think Facebook, I'm only about 3,000. Instagram, I'm close to 40,000. So my Instagram DMs fill up pretty quickly. But if you tag me in something, I'll get it, something like that. But Facebook, that's where I tell people like kind of reach out to me. But If you really want to contact me, man, about anything music wise, email me. You can email me at just SemmueJenkins@gmail.com. Really, that's my personal email. I'm giving it out to you guys. Like I said, if you got any personal questions, if you're inquiring about being a client or wanting to get some marketing services, then you can contact me at contact at D as in dog, URP as in Papa, L.com, Durple.com. So I'm available to help, man. I'm available to consult with you guys. And I know what you're like going on an artist budget. I'm not gonna beat you over the head. Um, Depending on what you got in mind, I may not even charge you. This thing comes so easy to me with thoughts and ideas. If it's something where it's only gonna take me 5, 6 minutes to, figure out, I just want you to go and be successful and just tell somebody that I helped you. That's the best help you can do, and help somebody else along the line.
The
So
law of compensation, brother. That's a beautiful thing. I appreciate it. My followers and listeners and viewers appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Semmue. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. We give Semmue Jenkins his flowers. We give him that round of applause. I want to give a special shout out and thanks to our sponsors, Little Drummer Boy Recordings, for all of your recording needs and for any training that you're looking for in audio engineering, music production, and the music business. Don't hesitate to go to my website, SemmueColes.com. We also want to thank Fire.ai, a marketing platform exclusively for music creators to help you build your fan base and make more money using AI and automation. And we want to send a shout out to Who Visualize You, a Philadelphia-based video and photo company that will have everybody asking, who visualize you? Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you on the next episode. Peace.
thanks.